First of all, I was born and raised in East LA. Yeah, my parents have been pastors in church for 40 years. I used to just go on certain occasions to church, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, those type of occasions. One time I went to go visit my parents on a Wednesday. My mom had asked me if I was ever going to get back to church, and I had told her that I was probably going to need a kick in the behind to get back to church. Well, God listens. 3 days later, on a Saturday, I had a motorcycle accident. I was driving down the 5 freeway. My motorcycle started getting into a speed wobble, and it felt like somebody was physically grabbing the bike and shaking it. I knew I was going to go down, end up laying down the bike. I was traveling about 80 miles an hour. The center divider got closer and closer and closer. And the next thing I knew, the center divider was in front of me. There's nothing I can do. I hit that center divider. At this time, my friend was behind me in his car. He said I ended up doing 4 or 5 somersaults in the air. Don't recall nothing. They said I slid about 367 feet, but I heard a voice. It said, breathe. And we're always blinking. We don't feel our eyelids open and close. But at this moment, I felt my eyelids open. And for a second or two, I see myself laid out on the freeway. I was in a coma for a week. I spent 2 months in the hospital. But God listens. God listens to what we say. I got that kick that I asked for without knowing it. My life has changed. I was dealing with drugs. I was selling drugs. Now, I'm here. I know where my faith is. I've gone through a lot of trials. My son was in between his mother and me in a custody battle. He loved both his parents, but he had made a decision to live with me at this time, but his mom didn't want that. So he was going through that pain between the two of us. My son and his 2 other buddies were on the water polo team. My son had just bought a new truck. They went out to the river to enjoy themselves. On the way home, my son got tired and let his best friend drive the truck at this time. Eventually, everybody ended up falling asleep in the front. His best friend ended up driving off the pavement into the median, and then they panicked, and he jerked the truck back onto the pavement, and the truck went into 5 or 6 spins, and my son got ejected from the truck. And they say he died instantly. I prayed that he did, because when I looked at his body, he had abrasions on his front part of his body. But when I lifted up his body to see his backside, he had holes, huge holes on the back, and that hurt. That hurt. The pain doesn't go away. But the Lord knows what is best for each one of us. Things are hard, but the comfort comes from the Lord. My son used to like this Spanish song, The Grand Tribulation, from Stanley Moreno. I'm not a singer, but the Lord gave me the strength to sing that song for him at that time. The pain don't go away, but the comfort comes from the Lord. When I first started coming to church, my first pastor told me, read the book of Job and understand it. And always put the armor of God on every day. You will get comfort. You would stand fast. You'll be ready for what comes your way. Life has been rough, but the comfort comes from the Lord. His strength comes. One always has to be ready to endure what life gives us. In my walk with the Lord, I started getting attacked physically, but medically. I ended up with kidney cancer. I had kidney cancer in my right kidney. But prior to that, I seen a neurologist, and because I had a lot of back pain, and they did tests, and they said if I didn't have back surgery, I was going to go paralyzed. And there was an urgency with the kidney cancer and my back. So I ended up having spine surgery first. 3 months later, I had the kidney cancer addressed. And then 6 months later, I had my shoulder replacement. Shortly after that, I ended up with prostate cancer. And we took care of that. And now I have kidney cancer in my left kidney now. But I have no worries of what takes place at this point because my faith is in the Lord. If the Lord calls me home, He calls me home. Keep your eyes on the Lord. Keep your eyes upwards. Forget the distractions to the left, to the right. This is where our eyes should be. This is our focus. The Lord tells us if He won't give us nothing more than what we can handle ourselves. So if it comes your way, embrace it. Enjoy the moment. As rough as it is, enjoy the moment because He's going to carry you through. When these times are coming your way and difficult as they seem to be, heavy, there's only 1 foot of steps in the sand because you are here in His arms.